It was Halloween night, and the moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the small, sleepy town of Maplewood. The streets were filled with children dressed as witches, ghosts, and monsters, their laughter echoing as they darted from house to house, collecting candy. In the middle of it all was Sarah, a 10-year-old girl dressed as a black cat. She had her pillowcase nearly full of sweets and was eager to hit the last few houses before heading home. One house in particular was at the end of her street. It had always been empty, its windows dark, the lawn overgrown, but tonight a single porch light flickered on.
"Come on, Sarah. Let's go to Mrs. Thompson's house instead,"
her friend Jenna said, nervously eyeing the dark house. Sarah shook her head.
"No way, Jenna. I bet they have the best candy. No one's been there all night."
Reluctantly, Jenna followed Sarah down the long, cracked driveway. The air seemed colder here, the wind whispering through the trees, and the light on the porch flickered in and out, like a dying flame. As they approached the front door, Sarah noticed something odd. The windows weren't just dark. They were completely black, as if covered from the inside.
"Trick or treat,"
Sarah called, her voice echoing unnervingly in the silence. For a moment, there was nothing, just the wind. Then slowly, the front door creaked open. No one was there, just the yawning darkness beyond. Jenna tugged at Sarah's sleeve.
"Let's go. This place is creepy."
But Sarah stood her ground.
"Hello."
She called into the darkened doorway. A hand emerged from the shadows, pale and wrinkled, holding out a bowl of candy. Sarah hesitated but reached into the bowl, her fingers brushing something cold and slimy. She yanked her hand back, but in that moment, the door slammed shut. The girls shrieked and ran, their hearts pounding, but not before Sarah could take a look at the candy she had grabbed. Her fingers were stained with something dark. In her hand was a small, waxy object, one that wasn't candy at all. It was a tooth. The girls rushed home, breathless, too scared to tell anyone what had happened. Sarah scrubbed her hands raw in the sink, trying to wash away the dark stain, but no matter how hard she tried, the blackness clung to her skin. That night, Sarah lay in bed, tossing and turning. She couldn't get the image of the house or the tooth out of her mind. Around midnight, she heard a sound, a soft, persistent tapping. At first, she thought it was the wind rattling the window, but as she opened her eyes, she realized the sound was coming from her pillowcase. Trembling, she reached for it and poured out the contents. The candy was gone. In its place were dozens of teeth, small and sharp, clicking and clattering together like they were alive. Sarah screamed and ran from her room, but when her parents checked, the teeth had vanished, replaced by the candy once more. The next day, the house at the end of the street was empty again, the porch light off, the door shut tight. But Sarah knew. Every Halloween since, she's felt the same cold dread when the moon rises and children fill the streets. And every year, without fail, when she dumps out her pillowcase at the end of the night, there's always one small, sharp tooth hidden among the candy. No matter how far she goes, the candy collector will always find her.